Forehead. Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast, episode 104. Welcome back. It's been a while.
Been a while.
As I say every time, it's been 2 weeks. I was going to say something, but now I can't remember. But we're live.
We are live on Twitch, on YouTube.
Two things. First thing. Okay, so you set an alarm. You wake up. It's a work day.
Okay.
What do you do after you leave the bed, between leaving the bed and getting in your car for work?
I get up. I grab the cat's dishes and I put them on the kitchen island. Then I go to the restroom. Then I come back and I dish out their food. And then I put their food in their places. And while they eat, I get dressed. Then I get dressed and then I brush my teeth. Then I get my water bottle, fill that up, get a couple snacks for the car as my breakfast. Usually a couple granola bars, something like that. And put my shoes on, check that everything's cat proof, and then I leave. Go down to my car.
Nice. Second thing. I wanted to make a bingo card for this podcast, just secretly of things that you would say or things that would happen in the podcast. See if I can get a bingo. I have to think that out more. But just something that was on my head.
On your head? You're gonna play bingo on your
like
your forehead or something?
Yeah. So it's been 2 weeks. What's been new with you?
I've been working, and I've been paddling. I saw the new Beetlejuice movie. Have you seen that?
No.
It's pretty good.
Do you know what I did see?
What did you see?
Hitman is now on Netflix.
Like the new one.
Like the one we saw.
Oh, great. Yes. Did you give it a good old rewatch?
3 weeks too late. No, but it's in you know how they have the top 10?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Netflix, they have like top 10 movies.
And that piece of shit was on it.
Number 1. Hitman.
People probably thought it was the new Hitman. Because that shit came out like this year. It has that dude in it. You know.
There's a new Hitman.
There is. It's not like related to the franchise. I think it's called The Hitman.
Oh.
Or something like that.
Yeah, with Glenn Powell. Yeah, that's also on Netflix.
Yeah, people think it's that.
Also on the top 10.
That's why it's number 1. People are like, oh, here it is, The Hitman. It's like, no, this is Hitman 2006 or whatever.
Yeah. No. I haven't seen anything really.
You've seen A Whole Other Province.
Yeah. Traveled. No Air Canada. Okay, so last time we talked, I was worried about, there's going to be a strike, a pilot strike.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to Prince Edward Island on the Friday. The Saturday, we're like, okay, it's looking like it's heading towards a strike. So let's get a different flight, just in case, as our backup.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to leave on the Friday, so we were there a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't get a flight until the next Tuesday. So that would have been yesterday.
Right.
So I booked on Saturday. Got a pretty good deal because I was looking at this one flight and it kept going up. So this one flight out of Moncton, I had to drive to Moncton, New Brunswick. So an hour and a half drive from Charlottetown to Moncton. Don't know if you've ever been there. I'm sure it's beautiful. Anyways, so the price for that one kept going up and up and up and up, and eventually it was $1,700 per person to get out. Flight left at 7:15 a.m. It got you in at like, I don't know, 1:30 p.m. So I ended up finding a flight. A later flight, 5:45 p.m. gets us in at midnight. And that one was about $307 each.
Whoa,
plus tax.
Big difference.
So, yeah. Hello, Gino. So we bought those ones. And then the next morning, they're like, no strike. Your flight's good.
So were you able to get your money back?
Non-refundable.
Oh.
No. There's no such thing as a refundable ticket from WestJet, apparently.
Oh.
They laughed in my face.
Boy, oh boy.
But it's fine. We had the 24 hours of, okay, we're okay.
Right. Yeah, it was for peace of mind.
And
was it worth like $700 of peace of mind?
Sure, yeah.
And so how was Prince Edward Island, your first time being there? Was it pretty?
Yeah, very pretty, yeah. The weather was great, very warm. Very hot beach days all the time, very sweaty. Saw pretty much the whole island. It's a small island, but we did a lot of driving. Saw all the ice cream stores. Yeah, it's great. Had a great time. The travel wasn't that bad.
Sounds lovely. How long is that flight?
Going over, we went from Victoria to Toronto, which is a 4.5 hour flight. And then from Toronto to Charlottetown, which is 2 hours, I believe. So it's 6.5 hour flight. And then coming back to Montreal and then Montreal to Victoria. Yeah, it's 6.5 hours.
That's not so bad. There was a dog there I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah, her mom has a dog. Toby. Lovely dog. We had a lot of good times. A lot of walks.
So wait.
Crazy puppy.
Did you raw dog the flights? You didn't watch anything? Are you read or what did you do?
Yeah, I did some reading. I did on the way over I watched 2 episodes of Top Chef through the Air Canada has their own entertainment thing. But they didn't work for the second flight. The first flight left at 11 p.m. So I was sleeping basically from Victoria to Toronto and then sleeping from Toronto to Charlottetown. And the time change. My God. 4 hours.
Change.
I think coming over, I downloaded some Netflix documentary about there was a sports documentary, a football one, and then I watched a true crime one. I started Deadpool, the first one. I'm not really in the mood for that. So yeah, no, I can't really watch a movie on a flight. I don't have that. It's got to be small little things.
Right. I'm like the opposite. I tend to fit as much movie into flight time as I can.
Going over. Hello. I gave her the window seat, and I had the aisle seat. Not the aisle, the middle seat. And in the aisle seat, going over to Toronto, very like a guy with a lot of not perfume, but the male version of that cologne.
Right.
Very pungent cologne he smelled. It hurt my head the whole flight. 4.5 hours. From Toronto to Charlottetown, the guy smelled like BO for 2 hours. And I was in the same seat.
You were in the same seat? You sat on his lap?
Well, not in the same seat. Well, no. And then from coming back from Charlottetown to Montreal, we had this old man. I had the window seat. She was in the middle seat. And she had, the air.
Yeah.
The airplane, you get the air. She had it on her, but I guess it was getting on the old man's arm, so he made her move it over. And then on the longer flight from Montreal So Victoria, nobody was in the aisle seat. We had it all to ourselves.
Just a little treat at the end,
which was amazing. Yeah. Just a little treat at the end.
Nice.
No, I had a great time. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot. Oh, do you like rugby?
Yeah.
We saw in Montreal the New Zealand women's rugby team walk past us because they're coming to Vancouver for a bunch of games the end of this month, or the end of this month and early next month.
Were they clearly rugby players?
Yeah. They were all wearing they're
wearing their jerseys.
New Zealand black and white. They had bags that said it on them.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then I went back to work, and I'm sore because my body's not used to walking 25 kilometers a day. Oh, and I bought new slippers.
Oh. Wow.
Because it's winter time. Oh.
Very nice.
They're just generic. I don't know the brand. Because it's now winter, as the rain came today.
You're definitely, when we lived together, you're definitely a slipper guy.
Yeah, I kind of fell off the slippers, but now we're back. It's kind of hard to get used to.
Full circle.
Keeping my feet warm.
Yeah. I do feel like our place was pretty cold. If I'm remembering that correctly.
Yep. Because we're kind of lower to the ground.
Yeah. Wasn't super well insulated. I just remember the front room just being so cold. It's just
yeah, the thin door, the wall. They still live in that house.
They do.
I drive by and I see their license plates. They're
the Hazel,
Hazy and Mrs. Hazel or whatever.
Yeah, I drove by there not that long ago. Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, and so we just talked about me for 15 minutes, but you got nothing?
Nothing that interesting. I'm going to Penticton this weekend for a race. I leave on Friday at 6 p.m. on the 6 p.m. ferry, so I'll get in Penticton pretty late.
Oh.
12:30 or 1 is my guess.
So, okay, 6 p.m. ferry. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So you're in at 7:30. So you think it takes 5 hours to drive from Penticton?
I think it's like a 4-hour drive. 4.5 maybe.
Shouldn't be too much traffic.
Shouldn't be.
Friday night though, it's a long weekend.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's fine.
That's fine. Hopefully the weather is, not bad.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be pretty mild.
Great.
Well, there you go.
Do you know what else was mild?
Bread?
The main character of the movie, Afterlife.
Afterlife. Right. It's movie time. Movie talking time.
It could be movie time, yeah. I don't know.
Movie time. 17 minutes. Now we're talking about the movie.
I don't know if this is going to work, but this is not related to the movie.
Okay, perfect.
I looked up your address via our past messages, trying to figure out where you lived. Just curious,
Okay.
I couldn't find it through our conversations. I don't know how I found your house when I showed up. So I had to go look at Google Maps and find your building. I'm like, oh, this is your building.
Right.
Yeah. And then you had told me what unit you were. So I used that and the building number on the Google Maps to find your address. So just be careful out there.
You'll be waiting outside.
Well, it's so easy to find where you live. Just if other people can do it.
And I assume you found 2940 was the number. Okay.
That was the one that I couldn't figure out. So but I found it because you have a sign outside your house or outside the building that says it on there. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
So
So
you found my
maybe
address
check
for
your
no
mail.
particular reason.
Maybe check your mail now or in a few days. Or
Okay. I haven't checked the mail today. I maybe should have done that.
I don't know how long things show up for the mail. So we're going on strike soon. So I just sign up. When did I want to go on strike? Or where did I want to strike outside of, and what time did I want to
You guys
strike?
are going on strike? Is that like known information? Or are you breaking that news right now?
No, we're not. It's not a guarantee we're going on strike, but we're gearing up for a strike, and
you have to pick like your picket times.
Yeah. So I can pick it out in Langford. So I can just walk to it instead of
That'd be quick.
to drive all the way back. Very nice. I picked 6 a.m.
How does that work with? Like, I know when my work was thinking about going on strike the last time our contract was up. And since we're like an essential service, like we still had to work. Some people had to work, and some people would have had to. We didn't end up striking. Like, would have had to picket or whatever. Is that kind of the same thing with your work? I assume it's.
I don't think so. I don't think we're nobody is saying anything about being an essential service. They're going to start just doing like rotating strikes. So we'll strike for one day, and then like Vancouver will strike for one day, and then
I see.
Montreal will strike for one day. But then they'll get to a point where we'll just be on strike. So I don't know if they bring in like temporary workers, but it's almost Christmas, the busiest time of the year. So
they must bring in.
I don't know.
Temporary workers, because I know we have a bunch of we have tons of casuals at my work, and I think how it worked if we were to strike is the casuals would work, I guess, and the non-casual.
Yeah, there are temps working right now. So, but yeah, I don't know how that works. They just will tell me not to show up to work and go strike, and I'll do it, and I'll get paid my $20 a day or whatever. And say thank you, Mr. Postman.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of time off, so don't know what I'll do. Maybe. It's not for sure. Anyways, what is for sure is what happens when you die.
It's well known.
You go to a room, and you talk to a counselor, and you figure out the one image, one memory you want for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Interesting movie you picked.
Yeah, I think so. I have to agree with you on that one.
Those are the heartstrings.
The very thought-provoking, perhaps.
Yeah, made you think, you could say.
100% made you think. Made you think along with the characters.
What did you think?
Some of the characters thinking what I was thinking. It would be tough to think of that one memory, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. At the moment I could not think of one memory. I live a very sad life.
Right.
I couldn't think of one happy memory.
You'd be like that one guy. Whatever.
Yeah, the one guy. Well, many people end up not picking a memory. And they just have to work.
It's true.
If I would have known that, then I'd just pick a memory. I'd be like, the day I brought my cat home.
Right.
I don't have children.
But you have plenty of memories you could choose. It's not like a completely joyless life where there was literally nothing you could choose. But I think there's plenty you could choose. You just don't know which exact one you would.
Yeah. I don't know if any are good enough that I could watch it over and over again for the rest of my being. But
yeah.
Now your name on here is my wife. Is that related to this movie, or is that the last movie?
The last movie, which of course was my wife.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
Oh, right. Frantic.
Like Harrison Ford, yeah.
That's
Frantic.
My wife. Right.
Don't worry, I just have the list in front of me. That's the only way I know.
I went and checked the Google Doc that we share, which has the scores today for the first time in quite a while. And our scores from Frantic weren't on there.
Right. Well, I did put them in now.
Mm.
I did notice that. I put them
Okay.
in for 2024. They are on the overall one, the next
Okay.
tab, which has all of the movies. But for 2024, it wasn't in, and now it's in.
Perfect.
You give it a 6.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So this movie, what did you think about Afterlife, the Japanese film?
I mean, I thought it was quite good. Quite. It was like quite a heavy topic, but also it was kind of like weirdly subdued, I guess. I don't know. Like it didn't feel like there was tons of stakes on people picking, but it is kind of a lot of stakes on what you're gonna pick.
I mean,
yeah, I guess that's true. And there was also a weird. It almost felt like a documentary at some points. Like I'm almost certain some of these people must have just been directed to pick a memory that they liked from their actual life and just describe
it. Yes, some of those interviews were just regular people off the street told to tell a memory. They weren't actors.
Was that right?
Okay. Yeah, so, a few of them. I mean, probably half of them.
Okay.
More than half of them were actors.
That makes sense.
Maybe one or two. Just regular people, like maybe the old lady.
I have to assume that like some of the people who got like a bit more screen time, like the guy who couldn't pick, like the two people who couldn't pick, the guy. Well, one guy he decided not to, like that younger guy, and then the older gentleman who couldn't find anything that he wanted to pick, and he was watching all those like home videos or whatever. No, they weren't home videos, but videos of his life.
His brain. Yeah, definitely could have been a documentary, which I guess was good, refreshing, a different type of movie, unique topic.
And I think like the blending of what I've learned now are like real people and then like the actors. It was pretty hard to distinguish between them. I mean, they were all so believable. I mean, I thought the acting was quite excellent.
You couldn't even speak the language.
Couldn't even speak the language, but I could tell they was acting good.
Even some of the actors, it wasn't scripted. They just kind of like improvised it.
Yeah, this is definitely an easier movie to do that with. This is not like really not that much happens. I mean, we go through like a week.
2 hours.
It's like a week, and really, there's nothing really happens. But I mean, me personally, I wasn't ever bored. But it sounds like maybe you were a little bit, or
the end of the middle was kind of dragged on a little bit. It was just like it's a pretty soft film.
Yeah.
So you need to really like pay attention.
Yes.
Not fall asleep.
Right. I could easily see this being a movie you could fall asleep to.
Yeah. Talk very quietly.
Yeah.
Well, you had to read the whole movie, but other than that.
And it was basically only it was like it's described as a fantasy drama, but it's only really a fantasy in concept. There's nothing happens on the screen that a human wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah. I don't see it, like I wouldn't consider it fantasy. The fantasy is the fact that these people are dead and it's not a realistic film.
Yeah.
In that sense.
And like even they're sent to this building like, after they're dead, but the building just happens to I guess what they're doing, it's like clearly an abandoned school or something like that. But it exists amongst like the actual real living people, because that one lady, Erica, I guess was her character's name. Remember, she just kind of goes into the city and it's just clearly no one can see her, but she's just hanging out in some big city. So
yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
How do you like the twist?
What twist? That like the main guy finally figured out a memory he wanted to choose. You talking about that?
Well, to do with the main guy finding out that
Oh,
the 70-year-old
right.
was actually married to was it his fiance or
His
his wife?
fiance. Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
ended up
So the
getting
guy
married.
who was like counseling him had died in the war, and yeah, he was married or to be married to the woman that he's counseling. Eventually, did end up marrying. Yes.
Pretty insane.
Yeah.
He's a 70-year-old man as well.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I mean, I did like his explanation as to why he was saying like why he didn't say it to him, because it wasn't about like not hurting his feelings, or it was more like how did he say it, that it was like he didn't know how much it was going to hurt himself to say, or something like that.
Sure. I watched this film on Monday.
Okay.
So
Perhaps some of
the
the intricacies might have been lost a little bit.
the intricacies might have been lost a little bit on me.
But I really did like the moment when the main guy, Arata, I guess is his name, he finally like picked that moment, and it was when he realized that his fiance, before he passed away, picked a memory with him in it to be her memory. And he's like, okay, like what a great feeling that is, that I was in somebody's favorite memory. And then he picked the moment where he realizes that as his. I like that.
Yeah. So Arata is actually the man's name in real life. It's not his character name.
Oh,
Takashi.
yes, thank you. I was reading the actor's name instead of the character's name. Takashi, that's right.
It's okay.
Thank you.
It was interestingly like the film. It didn't like it was over a week, but it was kind of cut up a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, I don't know how to explain it. It didn't feel. I felt like they just did it weird, getting from Monday to Monday. Like, I don't know. You didn't feel the same way. It's fine.
I don't think so.
There was something about it that was off for me. I don't know what.
What I did like also was, because I guess it would make it easier. It wouldn't be as interesting of a movie if you just be like, you can pick your memory and live in it, and then that's just it, and you just go to that memory. But instead, they like film the memory. They try to like recreate it instead of just putting them directly into it, which I guess is kind of like, especially memories from when you were little, perhaps. Really, how much you actually remember is probably very little, and then you kind of build what was actually going on kind of around it, just in your imagination, I would have to guess. Like one of my favorite.
Now,
Go ahead.
Sorry, the actors that they put in them in the recreations, do you think they're dead as well?
Yeah, I think so.
They would have to be, right?
But I was like, one of my memories I remember from like the blizzard that happened in Victoria in '96. Yeah.
6?
And I remember there's just a big pile of snow in my backyard, and me and my cousins, we like dug out a hole into the big mound and kind of made like a little hut. Anyway, I remember that, but I don't remember. That's probably like really literally the only thing I remember, but you kind of put in the other pieces. And I guess that's kind of like when they film it. I don't know, it's kind of like what you're doing in your mind, I guess. Like you do the best you can to recreate it, but you obviously can't recreate it perfectly.
So deep.
I imagine that's what they were going for there.
Another question for you. The old man, he had 70 years worth of videotapes, one a year.
Yes.
Right? Why couldn't they just... So they somehow got the videotapes from him. Why couldn't they just use those videotapes to create the memory? Why do they have to refilm?
I don't know.
The memory. Because aren't they like direct memories?
Yeah, they were saying like it was not exactly how it was, but pretty damn close to what the real memory would be. That's how they describe it.
So, I mean, 1998 VHSs, maybe it's more difficult to cut them out and instead of just filming them yourself, but they have them all there.
I guess so.
Somehow. Not to put a hole in the movie, but
I mean, if a movie like this, you could really just make up whatever you want in terms of what happens when you die. It doesn't have to really be realistic because no one really knows. So maybe you can get 70 VHS tapes of every year of your life and somehow watch most of them in a day or a few days.
oh yeah, I was wondering how he's doing that too, because they left him, I assume, early in the morning, and they came after their shift. But yeah, that's not a lot of time. So you'd have to like put them in and then kind of fast forward to like halfway through and be like,
Right. Just kind of
33 wasn't a very good year. So then do another one. Yeah. Unrealistic film.
0 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the acting was good. It did seem like a documentary, so I think that's a positive for acting.
I think so.
Yeah. Japan.
It's a place.
It I didn't hate having to read them one-handed.
He's a tiny little guy.
I didn't hate having to read the film.
You didn't hate having to read.
It made sense with the subtitles.
Yes.
It seemed like the subtitles were accurate.
Yeah, for sure they were.
There was one guy talking about prostitutes. That was cool.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
I was expecting there to be like at some point like a child that had died, and they're like interviewing, some like 8-year-old kid or something. I was like expecting it to get real depressing, but it didn't really get like super depressing.
No, just the 21-year-old guy who couldn't choose. That was the youngest guy.
No, there was that like 18-year-old. Remember, she was like, Disneyland is my favorite memory.
Oh.
And then the lady,
right?
She already like tried to talk her out of it.
Because everybody has Disneyland. Okay. Anything else you want to add for Afterlife? Not a whole lot of trivia for Afterlife.
Yeah, I can't imagine there is.
There was a play. It was adopted into a play in 2021 in the UK.
Yeah, I can see that working as a play for sure.
Yeah, this would be a play film.
Yeah. I thought it was.
I watched a movie this weekend with.
You hadn't watched any movies.
I didn't watch it on the plane, but I was home. We were gonna watch actually go to see a movie because we need something to do, but we didn't do it. Called His Three Daughters, with not Black Widow, but the Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen, and Natasha Lyonne. And that movie played a lot like a play would play.
Mm-hmm.
It was a movie, but it was a play. So this Afterlife definitely could have been a play.
It was a play.
And it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantasy drama. Don't see it. What is the one memory you would take with you? Comment in the comments. What is one memory you would take with you if you died?
Reveal to us your one memory.
Not in Disneyland, though.
No, that's a bad one.
Yeah. You done with the film?
I think so. We can get to scores if you like.
Okay, well, how did you... how did you feel about the acting?
Well, I thought the acting was quite excellent. Quite a subdued film, but still had quite a lot of. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was very mellow, but still very impactful. I just liked all the performances. Really, I honestly couldn't think of anything bad about the performances. But it feels wrong giving a 10 for acting, doesn't it? So I'd give it a 9.
Never for that.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for acting.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I feel like the actors came across as amateur is the wrong word, but they didn't seem like they were just playing themselves. It's one of those movies where it's like a documentary. They're just playing themselves, being genuine to who they are, and it worked. Even the people given like the interviews, clearly not trained actors. They were just themselves, and that added so much to the movie. Appreciate it a lot. I will give acting an 8, though, not a 9. Could never really give a 9, unless like Daniel Day-Lewis was in it.
He's pretty good.
The actor of our generation, but not this film. Ending. I don't even know when the ending. What do you consider the start of the ending?
I would say probably when Takashi decides he wants to leave. From like then until the end, the last 10 minutes or whatever.
Okay, well, I liked him as a character, and so I liked his journey. Him getting a happy ending. The realization that he now has a memory and his life is fulfilled after 50 years or whatever being in the hole. So that warmed the heartstrings. And you like to leave a movie feeling good about yourself. And yeah, so I'm going to give the ending a 7.5.
Okay.
7.5 out of 10.
You don't like a happy ending.
Well, this film, I mean, it depends on the film. You know?
Okay.
Like, okay, a bad ending would have been if they got the ending or got the memory for the old man, and it was like a good one, and then he was fulfilled, and that the movie ended. But they kind of diverted. It was kind of not what you were expecting. You weren't really expecting the guy to do it. So
okay.
Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, I also very much liked the ending. Takashi finally leaving, and the girl continuing on. And yeah, I thought it was nice. I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, well, if you had to score the film out of 10, what would you give it?
Well, I'm going to give it more than I know that you're going to give it. That's for sure. But I just thought this movie was very thought-provoking. And I kind of liked the tone. It was pretty mellow, but I was still intrigued. I was like it hasn't been very often that I've seen a movie that's like, it is kind of a little boring. Like there's not a ton happening, but I'm still pretty engaged. So I think it was just a testament to what they were trying to say and how they said it. It really worked. So I think I'd give it sort of in between. I give it an 8.5, I would say. I'm tempted to give it a 9, honestly. You know what? I'm changing it. I'm giving it a 9. I really liked it.
9 out of 10. Put that in both. 9 out of 10. This movie was original. The acting was great. A little twisty, which I appreciate. It was emotional, but also happy at the same time. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5, solid film. Maybe a little. I mean, it wasn't necessarily slow. Like it was just that kind of movie.
Yeah.
If something happened that made it more unslow, then that would have been a negative because that just wasn't the movie.
Right.
So I'm happy with 7.5, which is the score apparently I give a lot. So 7.5. No hate.
No hate and no 8.
True.
No hate, no 8.
Pretty good.
Hateful 8.
Good. All right, and that's Afterlife. So we're done with the Japanese thought-provoking film.
Right.
Subtitles. No subtitles in the next one.
No, and I don't imagine it's going to be particularly thought-evoking.
I don't know. I haven't looked at like anything really about it. Just the fact that it's in first person. Different.
It's going to be different.
Wear your glasses because this might be weird. Might be shaky.
Wear my glasses because it might be shaky?
Well, you need to focus. So make sure you have your glasses on.
I'll wear my glasses.
It might give you a headache.
Okay.
It's Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry. Who's even in that shit?
Yeah. Charlton Copley.
Who?
Charlton Copley. Tim Roth is in it a little bit.
Okay.
He was in. Oh, remember? Okay, so we did 2 weeks ago. We did a box office game, and one of the movies was The A-Team.
Right.
With Bradley Cooper. He is in The A-Team. Who does he play? No idea. He's in the new movie Monkey Man with Dev Patel.
Mm-hmm.
The new movie Boy Kills World with the dude from It.
Skarsgård?
Yep.
Okay.
Chappie? You ever watched Chappie? He played Chappie.
Okay.
Not kidding. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Hardcore Henry. Seems like it's a Russian film. Yeah. It is.
Okay, perfect.
I'm sure you can watch it somehow. YouTube, maybe? Probably not.
Sure, there's a way. There's a will.
Yeah. So it'll be another one of those action films that I like so much.
You do seem to like. This is going to be a big 180 from what we just watched.
Yeah. We always go. You do like a weird.
Hardcore Henry.
A weird one.
Hardcore Henry is available on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but is it like it's just regular Amazon Prime?
Included with Prime, it says.
Wonderful. We'll do that. Yeah, you do like a weird thought-provoking movie or something like Gummo, and then I have to do like an action film, like Jackie Chan or something.
You've picked one Jackie Chan movie, so I guess that's true.
Yeah, The Foreigner. Pow pow.
Pew 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 pew. Yeah, have I ever picked an action movie? I don't think so. There might have been a time I did. Did I pick Con Air or was that you?
That was me. Yeah, because you picked Charlie's Angels, which could be considered an action
film.
There
you go. Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. Charlie's Angels, you picked Blade, which could be considered an action film.
There you go. There's another one.
How about Tombstone? Can Tombstone be an action film?
Yeah, but not as much. More of a drama, really.
Being John Malkovich.
That's not an action movie.
Dude, Where's My Car?
I didn't pick that movie.
The Muppet movie.
Did I pick Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Because
brought that hell upon myself.
Yeah. The Muppet movie could be considered an action movie.
That's not an action movie.
You picked Ballistic X vs. Sever.
Oh, yeah.
That's an action movie.
That is an action movie.
Run Lola Run could be considered an action movie.
I guess so. Yeah.
Aeon Flux, an action movie.
Aeon Flux. I will give you $5 if you tell me what happens in that movie.
I cannot.
I have no idea what happens in that movie.
Same with Dark City. I feel like that's an action movie, but I can't remember what happens. Spice World, an action movie.
They jump over the London Bridge.
Ghost Rider, an action movie. This is back to back to back to back action movies you're picking.
What can I say? I'm an action man and forgot.
The Chronicles of Riddick, action movie.
Chronicles of Riddick. Yes. That was a good movie.
The Faculty. Yeah.
What'd I give the Chronicles of Riddick? A 6?
6.5.
And I think the Faculty I must have given like a 7.5 or something, or an 8 maybe.
You give it an 8, yeah.
It's a good movie. Elijah Wood.
Yep, Elijah Wood. Yeah, okay. Sorry, it's hockey's back. It's that time of year. It's cold. You drink your hot teas,
Your hot juice,
hot juices, and you watch hockey, and you watch.
How's your team doing?
Well, it's still the preseason.
How are they doing in the preseason?
They won last night, and they're losing tonight. So 50%.
Any major pickups for your team that you're excited about? Players? Any new players?
I think it's time to wrap it up.
Sorry?
It's time to wrap it up.
Oh.
We fit that magic threshold. We don't have to talk about sports. We can just
wrap it up. That's fine.
Get going. 9:37.
Thank you for everyone in the chat and on Twitch for commenting. Sorry we couldn't get to all your comments.
So many comments about the favorite memories that they'd love to hold on to.
Yeah, we'll keep those.
And then watch when they die. Okay, well, let's just end it. We're going to stop. Thank you so much. Episode 104, Afterlife. Back for 105 next week. Probably.
Yeah.
Oh. Right. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Toodles.
See you later.